Three musket.
Okay, you ready?
Let's roll.
What's that?
Yes.
Okay. All right, guys. So we're gonna do a walkthrough, a talk through of 112 Blackbird Lane in Greenville, South Carolina. We're excited to talk through this one because we're gonna kind of show you how we are able to buy on terms with very little equity in the property, but we can still make it work based on the terms of the underlying mortgage. And this is a perfect example because this mortgage, the underlying mortgage on 112 Blackbird Lane is right around 2% or 2% flat actually. So anytime we can pick up a property with 2% money against it, you know, we'd pay 100% ARV or maybe even a little bit more because we can turn around and finance the sucker at 7.99 or 8.99 and make a spread on the just on the interest rate alone. But this one, Trav will talk through the numbers in detail. But this is just a really interesting play. I wanted to get it out in front of everybody to kind of understand our strategy a little bit more because I think, you know, when investors look at these, they think that it's too tight to be able to make a deal out of it. But we can always do deals on terms or deals on equity, and it still makes sense. So 112 Blackbird Lane, we'll go through some of the pictures on the PPA really quickly. Let me create this one. So it is it's technically a 3, 2.5, but it has you'll see in the pictures, it has like a playroom office upstairs, like so many of these houses do, that all we'll need to do is throw a closet in there and it will be considered a 4, 2.5. So that's how we're going to market it, as a 4, 2.5. Nice house. It just sits on a slab, vinyl siding. Not a whole lot to do with this one. The neighborhood is kind of mixed between manufactured homes and just slab vinyl siding sort of houses, as you can see. These are the neighbors across the street. This is the actual house, front view of the house. Neighbors across the street. So working class neighborhood, we love those because those are the folks that are going to buy our houses, that need the financing. Roof is 5 years old or older, may have some issues to patch on that one, but we're not going to do a whole lot of work to this at all, really. We're going to sell it as is. Our buyers love being able to come in and put some sweat equity into these things and make them their own. So it's very clean, livable condition. This is that 4th bedroom that we'll put a closet in and make it a 4th bedroom. But as you can see, the house is livable today. Not a whole lot wrong with it. I mean, you got some holes in sheetrock and then doors on the doors, but that's nothing big. So I'll cruise through these really quickly. Clean baths. Nice big master suite. Kind of hard to see in the pictures because it's dark, but it's got an ensuite bath. Garage. Back view. And there's just some of that vinyl siding gets torn up when folks are weed eating around the house and whatnot, but nothing major. HVAC still running in good condition. And that's it on the pictures. So not a whole lot to do on the rehab side if we do anything. Probably just go ahead and owner finance this one out. Trav can talk through the details on that. And I think I said it, but 4, 2.5, a little over 1,800 square feet, located in Greenville, which is our main market. So I'm going to kick the controls over to Trav so he can talk through how we're structuring this deal. You should have it, Trav.
Got it. All right. Let me get my pen set up here. All right, guys. So deal with my scribble in here, but this will be on my X pen. So set up here. All right. Those are the picks. So now let's talk through some numbers and some of the fun stuff and kind of understand how we make these deals work. So on this specific deal, we're purchasing it for, what was the total purchase price? I believe like 153, I think.
I think purchase price is 161 with 8K walk away.
161 with 8K walk away. All right. So we have some back payments on this thing, right? So I think we have to pay, so we have walk away, 8,000. We have an underlying mortgage, 146. Okay. I think we have some back payments. What's the difference there, Sam? So we got a total of 161.
Like $6,000.
$6,000. So we got 6K in back payments.
And we'll need to verify these numbers, but they're close enough for our purposes this morning.
Yeah. So we got an interest rate, 2%.
That's the deal right there. That makes the deal.
That's the big thing, guys. It's a big thing. So it makes our monthly payment on this thing for P&I $647. All right. That's the deal right there. So now let me go over here and walk you guys through how we sell it. So our sales price, we'll list this at 185. I'm glancing down at my notes. I've already ran through these numbers, so it'll make it easier and faster for you guys. We typically get a bigger down payment than this, but I'm just going to assume we get a $10,000 down payment. We're setting those as kind of our new criteria, minimum 10 to 12K. That makes our mortgage $175,000. I've been doing an interest rate. I'll do it on this house. I'll do an 8.9. It's our monthly payment. P&I only, $13.95. So this creates an end game. We have a cash in pocket, 10K. We have a note, 29K. And we have a cash flow monthly, 748. So guys, being a note being that small, okay, of 29K, this is typically not like that great of a deal. However, we're taking over an older mortgage. I don't know how many years old this mortgage is. Let's just say it's only 5 years old because they've refinanced a few times. So I have a mortgage with 25 years till it's fully paid off. And now I have a new mortgage of 30 years at a higher interest rate, lower interest rate. This note is only going to grow over time. At some point, I'd like to be able to know how to calculate that and show you guys. But today, just know that this note is going to grow every single year because you have an older mortgage, lower interest rate, newer mortgage, higher interest rate. Okay. The only reason why this deal works is just because of this. Okay. That's the whole reason why this works. So we have to raise money for these two deals right here, for these two pieces. Okay, so we have to raise 14K for this deal. However, our return on that 14K is $748. So if you want to run the cash on cash return on that, take 748 times 12 divided by 14,000. So you got a 64% cash on cash return of our money. That's the returns that we like to earn on our money, guys. So it's easily paid for within 2 years. Then you have an infinite return from there on. So that's why Blackbird works. That's how these deals work at paying basically retail, because we said we were paying like 95+% on this deal. Whenever we owner finance it, we can always owner finance homes for a little bit more than market value. We'll get a down payment. We'll have a nice mortgage on it. We'll give a homeowner a good property. And we'll be able to make a spread and go do this again. Anything else I should have covered, Sam?
I think that pretty much covers it. The one key piece, again, is that we're buying this at 161, and the market value is probably 165 to 170. So we're almost maxing out where we're buying this thing from an ARV standpoint. We're probably at 95%. But as Travis just showed, a 64% return on your money, secured against an asset, uh, is strong. And that's pure cash flow. We're not taking out repairs. We're not taking out vacancy. We're not paying taxes and insurance. The buyer is paying the taxes and insurance because they're buying the beneficial interest of the trust, and they get all the rights of home ownership when they are purchasing that beneficial interest of the trust. So they have to pay the taxes, they have to pay the insurance, they have to pay all the things that if this were a rental property we would be paying and taking out of our cash flow. So those numbers are real. And buying a 95% ARV property and making a $750 cash flow roughly every month, I mean, that's solid. And just to clarify a little bit more, Trav, when you're talking about the age of the underlying mortgage against the age of the new mortgage, obviously, the reason you're saying that grows over time is because that older mortgage, we're paying more principal on cheaper money every month, right? As opposed to the buyer paying higher interest on a brand new mortgage. So they're paying mostly interest and we're paying down equity.
Yeah, it's a
Principal.
good call out too, because a lot of the times, like in this instance, it's a very unique deal, but a lot of times these mortgages are 15 years old. So whenever you got a 15-year-old mortgage, you're paying so much. I can't imagine the amount of principal that you're paying, and eventually we'll start showing you guys that. But we're paying significantly more principal than you are on a brand new 30-year left mortgage.
Yeah.
So it's a huge deal, and that is what we would call like the appreciation piece of this. Only you're not having to bank on it. It's just a factor that actually happens to this. So your wealth and your note grows every single month. And when they refinance, in 7 years, I would imagine that this note will be closer to 50, 60, 70 plus $1,000 in that time frame. So I'm not positive, but I would imagine it'll be significant.
Yeah. And I think it looked like the last time they refied was 2012. So it's 8 years old, let's say.
That's good.
So we're really going to be getting to where we're paying some equity down on this sucker, which
Yeah,
is
and
great.
it's 2%. It's like
Yeah,
you're only paying
2%.
2%
And we were
interest
never
instead of
really paying much
5.
interest on it.
Yeah, yeah. So this is one of our best cash flowing deals. We have a few of them. I think that one that touches 700, a bunch in the 600s, but this will be one of our best cash flowing deals, one of our lowest equity deals. We're also going to make $10,000 on it up front, and it'll be our
So
highest.
really that cash on cash return is much greater than 64%. You factor in
Yeah,
that down payment.
yeah. If you do factor in that down payment, but I just always like to factor those as going towards revenue. So we'll keep
Yeah.
it kind of in that
Overhead,
bucket. But yeah, man,
cost. Yeah.
whenever you look at it on a holistic standpoint, encompassing everything, I mean, it's kind of almost an infinite right off the bat.
Yeah. And there will be another 3% on top of that, on top of the sale price for rolling in the origination fees and all that sort of thing. But you can get the gist of this one. And shout out to Ethan. Ethan got this deal right on contract.
Yeah.
So huge shout out to Ethan. I mean, he got this lead and worked it, approached it as though it would be a cash buy, but obviously the seller, for one, the loan balance would never make sense as a cash buy. But Ethan was able to make this one work. He saw that 2% interest rate, knew he could lock it up and make a deal for it. For us. So big shout out to Ethan on this one.
Yeah, man, Ethan crushed it. And one cool thing like Ethan did too, man, because this guy is, or gal, or it's a tough situation. I'm not sure the motive, what happened in their life, but when they're behind $6K on these payments, like they're probably facing. This is probably a pre-foreclosure, so they're probably facing foreclosure. I'm sure there's other guys out there that have the same strategies that we do. However, no other investor was able to touch this, and this homeowner would have been foreclosed on. We saved them from foreclosure, and we're able to give them $8,000 in their pocket to move and relocate. It doesn't get a much better ending on that end. And then we will be providing home ownership down here. So this couldn't be a more like better staple picture of a like win-win-win, and then our business wins as well. So we're able to go and do this and help for more people. So it's just, this is like the deals that like, you know, you keep going for, right? Like you saved somebody from foreclosure, then you gave home ownership, and you paid them to walk away. It's a really neat transaction.
There's just going to be more and more and more of these deals as forbearance starts. People have to start paying their debt on forbearance, and more homes going to pre-foreclosure and foreclosure.
I
And
bet some of this is forbearance, you know.
probably,
It is.
and so folks are looking for relief on that stuff. So we can make it work. And the only other thing that if you're a potential investor in this deal for that walk away money and the arrears that we have to catch up, just full disclosure, there is a 6-month lease in place with the current owner. So we have a 6-month lease in place with them. They'll be exiting the property, whatever month that equates to, 6 months post closing. So the tenant will be in there for 6 months, and then we'll proceed with owner financing at the end of that term. So, and then we won't need to refi. We would never want to refi this, like Trav said, with that 2%. We don't ever want the buyer to refi either, honestly.
Yeah.
So strong deal. Anything else, Trav?
Yeah, that's a good coverage, man. Let's get on to the next one. Let me stop this video here.